You know, I I live about an hour's drive from Canada, and go up there often. And in Vermont, we tend to get a lot of Canadian news, just radio and so on. But something that made the news here in the United States was the question of Maher Arar. That's Maher, in case I mispronounce it. He's a Canadian citizen. He was returning home from a vacation. Plane stops at JFK in New York and continues on to Canada. He was detained by federal agents at JFK Airport, 2002, on suspicion of ties to terrorism. He was deported to Syria. Wasn't sent on the couple hundred miles to Canada and turned over to the Canadian authorities, but he sent thousands of miles away to Syria. He was held for 10 months. The Canadian Commission later found that there was no evidence to support he had any terrorist connection or posed any threat, but that he was tortured in Syria. He was held in abhorrent conditions there, and those sending him back must have known he was going to be tortured. The Canadian government has apologized for its part in this debacle. In fact, the head of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police actually resigned over it. The country is prepared to compensate him for it. This country has not said anything at all that we made any mistake or had any apology. Press accounts indicate the Justice Department approved his deportation to Syria. I've not heard anything clear from the Justice Department about their role in this affair. And I understand he remains on the United States terrorist watch list, so he couldn't come 50 miles or 75 miles or whatever south into the United States without fear of being picked up again, sent back to Syria. Why is he on a government watch list if he's been found completely innocent by this Canadian Commission, which actually had information from us?
Senator, I've got some very definite views about this particular case.
Go ahead.
As you know, we are in litigation. What I want to do is, hopefully in the next few days, I'm happy to sit down with you and Senator Specter and give you more information. In fact, we may be able to publicly say more about this shortly. I'm just not at liberty at this time.
Let me ask you this. Why aren't you at liberty? I don't understand that. It's not a matter of executive privilege.
No, sir, again, and I'm
which
not,
only the president could claim you can't.
I'm not suggesting that I will not be able to answer your questions. I'm just suggesting I can't do it. I can't do it today.
Why?
Sir, there is not a position. I can't represent the position of the executive branch on this particular issue, but I think in a relatively short period of time, there's more information that I should be able to share with you, and hopefully that we can share publicly.
Well, why was he sent to Syria instead of Canada?
Well, again, Senator, I'd be happy to answer these questions. I'm aware of the list of questions I think you and Senator Chairman Biden have submitted with respect to this particular case. I think we can say a lot more about it if you just simply give me some additional time.
Can you tell me whether you took steps to ensure that he wouldn't be tortured? Of course, he was.
I believe that piece of information is public. There were steps. I think General Ashcroft confirmed this publicly. Is that there were assurances sought that he would not be tortured from Syria. But again,
Attorney General, I'm sorry. I don't mean treat this lightly. We knew damn well if he went to Canada, he wouldn't be tortured. He'd be held, he'd be investigated. We also knew damn well if he went to Syria, he'd be tortured. And it's beneath the dignity of this country, a country that has always been a beacon of human rights, to send somebody to another country to be tortured. You know, and I know, that has happened a number of times in the past 5 years by this country. It is a black mark on us. It has brought about the condemnation of some of our closest and best allies. They have made those comments both publicly and privately to the President of the United States and others. And it is easy for us to sit here comfortably in this room, knowing that we're not going to be sent off to another country to be tortured, to treat it as though, well, Attorney General Ashcroft said, we got assurances. Those assurances from a country that we also say now, oh, we can't talk to them because we can't take their word for anything.
Well, Senator,
I'm somewhat upset.
Yes, sir, I can tell. But before you get more upset, perhaps you should wait to receive the briefing.
How long?
I'm hoping that we can get to the information next week.
Well, Attorney General, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll meet you halfway on this. I'll wait next week for that briefing. If we don't get it, I guarantee you there'll be another hearing on this issue. Canadians have been our closest allies, longest unguarded frontier in the world. They're justifiably upset. They're wondering what's happened to us. They're wondering what's happened to us. Now, you know and I know we're a country with a great, great tradition of protecting people's individual liberties and rights. You take an oath of office to do that. I take an oath of office to do that. I believe in my basic core nature in that. My grandparents, when they immigrated to this country, believed that. Let us not create more terrorism around the world by telling the world that we cannot keep up to our basic standards and beliefs. So I'll wait a week. I'll wait a week, but I won't wait more than a week for that briefing. We'll stand recessed unless you want to say something further.
Only, Mr. Chairman, that we understand what our legal obligations are.